Okay, hello, welcome back to another game of chess. Today we are playing chess with a twist, and that twist involves tortilla wraps and my brother. Now he's going to take this tortilla wrap here, and every time one of my pieces gets taken, he's going to hit me in the face with it. This is going to be interesting in terms of how it affects my chess and the performance here. We see d4 after c4 and after knight f6, meaning I can play e5, a Budapest, immediately offering up one of these pawns here, and immediately offering up, you know, the foot. Okay, fair. First slap in the face, but we can now play the Budapest gambit with knight to g4, putting pressure on this e5 pawn, and then putting further pressure on this e5 pawn with both of the knights here. Now bishop f4, okay, protecting this pawn here. Now I'm going to go check with my bishop on b4. I think before a3, that's a really good idea. Ooh. Now knight c3 isn't ideal. I think you're supposed to go to knight to d2 here. Knight c3, I'm going to take this straight away. And they're going to recapture my bishop, so fair. And we've doubled the pawns here. And I think that's going to be really useful because they're doubled and isolated, as well as the fact that queen e7 now, I think, is going to help win back this pawn. You obviously can't go like queen d4, sorry, protecting the pawn, because then the knight holds this square here. So yeah, this pawn is very weak. Both of these pawns are weak, and you know, it's an interesting position because we've made very few committal moves with any of our pawns. Now the queen can come to here. The queen can absolutely come to there, and the question is, am I now losing the game? Am I now going to see knight to h3? And this is just basically going to be trapped. I'm going to have to come back to here and takes. Maybe. Honestly, maybe. But I'm thinking f6 is kind of intriguing. I'm going to go for... Wait, f6? Pawn takes, knight takes, we hit the queen. I kind of don't mind it. Probably playing d6 and gearing the bishop out. So I will go for f6 here. And they're going to take my pawn. So I'm just going to prepare for that. Unless they don't take my pawn, which I would very much appreciate from my opponent. They kick the knight first. But now I can take on here, because my pawn also attacks. So, go on, knight takes e5, awesome. This is going to be a big trade in the center, so I need to prepare. Fair enough, fair enough. He's broken the wrap, fair enough, get a new one. Now do I take with my pawn? I think I take with the pawn, you know. Take with the pawn, kick the bishop away, and you know, d6, bishop e6, castle's kingside, and we seem to have a really nice position. And I mean, if we get that position, these pawns are just going to be long-term weaknesses. And I don't care if you have a bishop pair; these pawns are horrible. Also, the a2 pawn is not great. I mean, it's isolated as well. So this whole bishop b4 and then knight c3 and then bishop takes knight maneuver really does weaken quite a few pawns in white's position. And right now, I mean, there's no checks you can give. If you take this pawn with either piece, you're obviously going to lose the game. So you've got to move this bishop, basically. And I'd assume like g3, maybe even you want to consider tucking it into h2, or the bishop could go back to d2, maybe even to c1 to reroute this way to b2. But it could go back to one of these squares to support the c pawn. So we're going to give my opponent their time to think here. They're burning through their clock, but almost certainly I want to play d6 and bishop e6 as my next couple of moves. All right, so my opponent's been thinking for a while now. They are... Nah, that is so far. Get off my face with the... I'm not enjoying this. I don't know why. You get away with that, bro. Nothing's been taken. All right, I really don't see how you stop this idea of d6, bishop e6. Because with the move queen to d5 initially, yes, oh, my opponent has moved. And they've stepped back in front of the e pawn. Maybe I guess to go here, but I'm just going to go d6. 100% of the time I play d6. Very solid, preventing any access to any of these squares with the bishop. I mean, this bishop's not good. And what is this going to happen? Well, just bishop e6. The queen literally has to go to like one of these. Oh, okay, my bad. Definitely can go there. And now
So you deserve that. But...
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I did say the queen had to go back here, but I'm not. Listen, you're not giving me bonus slaps off your own discretion. All right. Stop. The queen is attacking the b7 square. This is the thing. I cannot concentrate with this looming threat. The side of my face hurts. Bro, please chill out. Okay. So if I castle queenside, I protect this b7 pawn. But then I do castle into an open b file. Honestly, not really enjoying that and the pressure from this bishop on a7. So I'm kind of feeling like that's not a good idea. However, if I go to b6, my knight hangs. I don't really want to play rook b8. It honestly might be an idea though. Rook b8 temporarily to then be able to play a6, kick the queen, and sort of free up my position a little bit more. I really don't want to play rook b8 though. But I also don't want to play bishop c8. Okay, this is actually a really good move for my opponent. I think I am going to just play rook b8, which looks honestly horrible. But I really don't want to be castled this way, because open b file, all sorts of potential pressure from the h pawn. The bishop comes onto here. Okay, so the threatening takes, and takes here. Honestly, I'm castling kingside here. Takes and picking up a pawn here is still an option. I think I'm in a good position if that happens, because then my opponent doesn't even have the bishop pair. I've got rooks on the open b and the f files, and I mean I've got like a way to reroute this bishop, or reroute this bishop rather, onto the light square diagonal. So I think I'm doing really well if this happens. Okay, yeah, my opponent castles. This knight does not really have anywhere to go. I kind of want to be able to reroute it through e7 maybe to access g6 and thereby these weaker dark squares here that have been conceded by my opponent's pawn structure. So maybe moving the queen is a good idea. I don't think it's serving a huge amount of purpose here, so I could just play queen f7, queen f7 here, creating a battery towards this weak c4 pawn as well, coming back to that idea of bishop b4 and bishop takes the knight here, creating a weakness. But my opponent comes in with the piece. Now that is a good move. Damn, honestly didn't consider that. Although, is it? Because if I trade off the light square bishops, yes, I get slapped in the face, but maybe this king is weaker here, because there's weaknesses on these light squares. I'm honestly not sure. I could play knight to d8 actually, threatening like c6, and also forcing bishop takes at some point to then play knight takes, and then be angling for this lovely square. Maybe even g5 to take on hit. Oh, okay. I'm going knight d8, and I'm saying, you know what? This is protected. I'm threatening c6. If you take here, I can bring my knight into a much more useful position. And all the while, this bishop is in front of this e-pawn, which I don't think is a great idea. So, wow, my opponent is lashing out right now. I can play c6, and my opponent could then take. I would then take with knight, and they take here, and discover onto my queen. That is a lot of slaps. c6. Damn, this is so stressful. Okay, I think I've got a really interesting position though. c6, bishop takes. I could just play queen takes actually. I do want the knight taking there. Bishop c6, bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes here. I just don't know if I actually like that position. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work, sorry, because then I just take the rook and pick up the queen. Right, we're playing c6. And I'll calculate later. There's definitely, I mean, there's an insane amount of tension in this position here. I'm about to get slapped in the face several times, but need to maintain composure through. Fair. That's fair. Knight takes here, bang. Knight to e6. We've improved this knight a lot. If takes here, I mean, this queen is still hanging. That's not going to work. The queen has to move. Does target a weaker pawn, but that pawn is surely not important right now, because we're going to take on here. Now, are we going to do that with the knight or with the pawn? I'm liking with the knight, threatening this square. Yes, you can have this pawn down here. I don't care. I'm breaking open the king. I've got my knight immaculately improved here. We are definitely going to see something taken, almost certainly. Because if bishop takes, fair. I can't play queen takes, of course, but I can play pawn takes here. And then should you take here, I can pick up this pawn. And again, coming back to the idea from the start that that c4 pawn is going to be super weak. So there's pressure all over the position now. My pawns are much more solid. My opponents are less so, given that, you know, they played g4 and h3. The king is surely weak with all of these holes here. And so my opponent probably shouldn't be taking this and allowing me to take here, because then all of a sudden this is hanging, while this is secured and my rooks are connected and holding each other. So I think, honestly, I've got a really nice position because I'm a pawn up, and I'm definitely the one playing for a win here. Still could be drawish, especially during an endgame where I'm getting repeatedly slapped in the face. But, you know, if ooh, rook comes in. Okay, what if I go here? Can maybe take here? Then I go here. Right, I'm going to start taking pawns. Here we go. Let's take one here. Also, just sort of unpinning from the general idea of this rook on the f-file. We're up 2 pawns now. My opponent will likely take here. Then we can pick up this pawn. Oh, no. Bro, my ear is ringing. You don't understand. What do you mean?
Listen. You're saying fair too much, man. Too much.
Shut up, mate. Shut up.
Pain and needing.
Right. I'm gonna take this pawn, I think. Nah, oh my god, I can't even think. Here? Yeah, okay, we've got to trust this. I'm 2 pawns up. You can take this, but surely f3 is about to be a demonic move. Coming in here, threatening... bro, can you chill out with that rat, please? You've already broken one of them. We've got a super secure position, and the queen, funnily enough, has no way to access this diagonal for any checks as well. It's always a really good thing to keep an eye on, just possible checks, but we're also the only one with a passed pawn here on the f-file, and I'm thinking f3 and threatening that queen g2 checkmate idea is going to be really strong, because f3 will probably end up forcing the move rook f2, and then we can go check, the rook will come back, then we can go check up here, the king will move, and then there's a mate there. So, I mean, depending on what my opponent does, of course, that could be a super interesting idea. Bro, please chill out with the rap, please. Oh my days. I think my opponent's going to spend a long time thinking here, because it's kind of obvious that f3 is an idea, and they're probably very scared of that. But the thing is as well, not only am I up material, but I'm the one attacking, and so if my opponent wants to sort of subdue my attack, they're going to need to like trade off pieces, and if they do trade off pieces, I'm going to be 2 pawns up in a rook and pawn endgame. Okay, so my opponent's going to take on a7, maybe. That is an option, because then if f3, I'm thinking they can come back with the queen to f2 here. Then maybe, yeah, okay, there we go, they do. Now here, queen f2. Am I happy about that? I can trade the queens, and then I guess just play... I don't know, that doesn't feel as good. I feel like I'm losing this pawn here.
Don't you miss a slap?
Ow. Okay, so yeah, queen takes a7. Now, honestly as well, I could play check, and I could force takes and takes. Which I'm gonna do, actually. I'm really definitely gonna do that. Because I think I'm surely doing well here. I mean, my opponent's gonna have to take my queen. I'm about to get slapped in the face. That's alright though. Yep, fair. And now we're gonna go rook to e8, get behind the passed pawn. If rook takes, then rook takes, and if rook takes here, then king takes, so that we can stay behind this passed pawn. Actually, is that good? I don't know, I may have just thrown away my advantage here, because I think they can just trade the rooks off, and this pawn is going to be lost. Oh, I guess there's these pawns, again, from the start, that weakness of isolating them, still sort of an idea. But that was definitely not the right idea. I think my critical thinking skills have been wildly affected by the several concussions that I've received. Oh my god, I could have gone rook a8 and rook a2. Oh, dude, I'm so bad at this game. Okay, well, rook a8, rook a2. Oh, my opponent's taken. We're going to go here. Take it. Ow. There was another one. Bro. Okay, we're going to go up with the king here. and come across this way to attack. Bro, that actually hurts so badly, you know. My ear's legitimately ringing. Okay, now I'm going to play g5, freezing the progress of both of these pawns. And this could be a drawn endgame, but I may be playing for a win given that these pawns can't support each other. And I've been let into here. That can't be right. Hello? King b4. Okay, let's do some calculation here. King a3, king c5, king a2, king b6, king b3, king b7. I go c5. And if you come up, then I take the pawn. Oh my god, I'm winning, no? King a3? You have to go in this way, right? Unless they try something like this or go over this way and try and take these pawns. But I get c5. In that line, I think I get c5. And then if you come up and attack my pawn, I just take from b3 to c4 with my king. And my opponent's got like very limited time as well. Oh my god, they go for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Same amount of moves, I go first. Here we go. Here we go. No way. Okay, but I'm just gonna come this way. That can't be a good move. That can't be the right idea, right? Now I'm just up a pawn. You can't like access the position at all. Now I come in here, you go here. And I just play a6, Zugzwang. Burning a move. Your king cannot stay attached to this pawn here. And I'm just going to take it. Here we go. My opponent is going to run over and take some of mine, but I just need to run with this pawn, right? 1. b4. Fair. b3. b2. Queen. This will win this pawn here. With check. Then we go... I mean, we can do this. Resignation. I win. No more slaps.
Get lost. Oh!